Welcome back everybody to Tony's Top Tips Workshop. This video today is it comes from one of my subscribers, and he's having problems with his 4040, and it's doing various things, and Sainsmart have said change the micro switches on the Z-axis because that's one of the things he's having problems with, and it's homing. And motherboard, sent him a new motherboard, and he's admitted that he's not electrical engineer, so he's a bit wary on what to replace. Now I messaged him last night because I've not you do get a pair of micro switches in with the kit when it comes, spares, but unfortunately they're not the micro switches that you use on the Z-axis. And I said to him, I don't know what they've sent him, but the micro switches on the Z-axis come on a long bar where you plug the actual cable in for the micro switches. I'll show you in a moment. They are not, you don't unscrew them, they must be soldered to the board, to the strip. I'll show you in a minute, and they're backed with rubber on the back, so they're, I presume, for protection. So they really should have not sent two micro switches, because he would have to solder them on, and I can understand that. So what he should do, they should have sent him the actual strip where it's held on by screw at the top, screw at the bottom, and you plug the white plug in. That's it. But I'll show you in a moment, and I'm going to try and show how. I'm not going to remove my motherboard, but I'm going to show how you would do it, and hoping that it would help him. I'll notify him today then that I've done a bit of a video, but I'll take you down to the machine and I'll show you from there. Right, here we are at the machine. Now I'm going to do the Z-axis first that is having to deal with. Now, as you can all see, that there's the connection, 3 cable white plug connection that goes into that. That is a printed board there, and it's backed with rubber. If you feel on the back, I'm not going to peel this off because mine's working okay, but as you can see there, I hope you can all see that, you can feel the back of the solder. Okay, so they're soldered onto this board, that's why there's no cabling, and same at the bottom there. You can feel the actual solder underneath. So it's just a board. Now if they've sent him 2 of these, then he's going to have a job on, and I can understand that, but it's the simplest thing in the world to replace that if they've sent him this strip, which is 2 screws, one at the top, one at the bottom. So you would just undo that, undo the plug, swap over. That's that one sorted. I don't know what they've sent him. He said 2, a pair of switches, or maybe 1, I don't know. In fact, I think it said they sent him 1. Well, if they've sent him 1, that's no good. He shouldn't have to be soldering, they should have sent him this. It's a Z-axis. On the, you do get 2 spare ones in the kit, and they're on the separate little printed boards, so they must be for the Y-axis and that. They look to be so, but they're even soldered onto a printed board. So that's the first one. So if they haven't sent him that, or complete unit, and just the micro switches, he needs to get onto them to say, I've no facility to solder, I don't think I should be doing it, and this should be sent as a complete unit. Okay, as I say, I don't think you can feel 1, 2, I think there's maybe 3 connections under there. Certainly I can't feel any screws. I don't know, but it's just as easy for them to send him. Let's have a look. I don't want to start picking up mine because mine's working fine. I'm almost positive they're soldered on, but they should have sent him a complete new strip. You know, it's no good sending him just a micro switch, because he'd have to swap one out if he could solder and what have you. Swap one out, Yeah, I'll destroy all this at the back. Oh no, it should have sent him all this. Okay, so that sorts that one out for him. What I'll do now is I'll show you the motherboard and how I would disconnect it and change. Right, here we are at the controller for the motherboard replacement. The gentleman concerned, there are 4 screws. I've taken my offline controller bracket off here. It's only on self-adhesive. There's 4 screws, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now mine was in very tight, so just be careful that you don't strip them out. Make sure you've got the correct screwdriver. I've taken the 2 out at the bottom. They are only short countersunk stubby screws, so, and the head's quite soft on them, so be careful with it. So that's the final screw, and then we'll just pull the USB out and then it just slides off. Okay. Now as you can see I'll just see if I can get you a bit closer from that angle. Yeah, so as you can see in there's my power plug input there, which I had a fault with when it first came. It was earthing out, and it wouldn't let the probe work, so it's just a white plug there, so you would disconnect that, pull it out, that will come away, pull that one out, they only pull out, and that will come away, pull this one out, that has a little thing you press down, pull away, that's your cover away. Get that away first, okay, and that exposes the motherboard. Now you need to unplug this one, which is your main cable here, so unplug that just goes slightly through there. Okay, now these are the cables that I'm sure he's bothered about. So what you do is either use a little bit of white masking tape if you're unsure. I mean, they are labelled up left and they are labelled up on there right, so you can't right left, you can't get mistaken that, but not everybody, and same as down there, it's got on that one, I can't see that one has Y and that has on. Now this one doesn't have one, so that'll be for the x-axis, but it doesn't matter which you actually it matters which you plug into, but mark them. I always mark mine with a bit of masking tape. Okay, just put a bit of masking tape around right, left, Y, look, left, so then you know. Okay, so we come that once you've unplugged everything, marked everything, unplugged it, taking this out, then there's 4 screws, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now be careful if there is an insulation washer on them. There might be, it's just a little washer sometimes on the back or on behind the screw head, but that's what holds your motherboard in. Okay, so once you've taken that off, there is no more connections to remove. There's 4 screws, and then it's a simple case of putting your new motherboard back on. 4 screws, secure your motherboard first, don't plug anything in, and then you simply redo your connectors. Okay, and as I say, the you have an e-stop circuit, and your X and Y, and they're all plugged there, so don't be too concerned about it as long as they go back in. You can mark them up even with, you know, red felt pen, black felt pen, whatever you want to do to mark it up. it just gives you that added security. And also, what I always do, everybody's got a mobile phone, show the little clips with the letters on, take a photograph, close photograph. It's simple, you don't have to be an electrical engineer to do it. It's rather simple, and it should, once you've put the motherboard in and got it all secured back, and you should be able to just fire it up and it should run. Okay, and if that sorts your problem, fine. But if it's a micro switch on the board here, changing that won't do anything. So I would suggest that you change that first, get them to send you that complete unit. They might have done, I don't know. I'll have to speak back to the chap in concerned, but try changing that first. If that don't cure it, then change the motherboard. Just make sure, I think he said he'd done an extension kit, so if he's done an extension kit, just make sure that none of the cabling are actually nipped anywhere, because that's another thing that you don't want. I've had one or two say that they've nipped the cable when they've been doing it, or it's been under manufacture and it's nipped the cable. So I hope you can all see that. So just a brief overrun of it. Label, you take a photograph first with all your little labels pointing forward, and then if you want to label them. Makes it easy. Unplug them all. Once you've taken your cover off, 4 screws, motherboard out, new motherboard in, 4 screws, plugs back in, job done, cover on. Okay, there's not a lot more that I can actually say about doing this. I mean, my motherboard's been fine from day one. It was one of the first that came over here with this machine, so, and I had problems with it, as you have done a video on it. As you can see, mine's insulated. That input power was earthing out against that, so the probe was always actuated. And we did I did a video, and in actual fact it was a fault that was put out with Sainsmart, and once I'd notified them about the fault, they actually tried to rectify them all at the factory, and they told me to notify anybody that's having problems on my channel that there's a $20 refund they can have if they do it the job themselves. So I passed that on, but that should never have come out of the factory earthing out. So they knew then, they found the fault themselves. So yeah, that sorts that one out. Alright, we're back up now. As I say, that's a conclusion of this video. I hope it helps the gentleman. They should have sent, first thing is, they should have sent the full bar with 2 micro switches on, because it's obviously a printed board. They should have sent that, not just one micro switch for him to solder on. They should have sent that. They might indeed have done. I will get back in touch with him and ask him if they have sent that. And the other is the motherboard swap. It's pretty straightforward. Take a photograph, then you know where the connections go. Show the little yellow tags. I've got one tag missing, so you might not have any on for the wiring, but label them if you want. Bit of masking tape now, just label what they are. 1, 2, 3, 4, however you want to label it, so you know which plugs go back in which. 4 screws, motherboard out, motherboard back in, 4 screws, plug back in, cover back on, job done. I'm hoping one or the other motherboard or the micro switches are the fault for him, because it's awful annoying that you've got a subscriber out there that's struggling, and at least this way we can try and sort it out. So as I always say, I'm going to load this video up now, and I'll notify him that I'm putting a video on. So until next time, please thumbs up, like and subscribe, and don't forget notification. Makes a lot of difference to me. And as I always say, be safe, be careful, bye for now.